even know what the song means.
I think I thought we did.
I don't know.
Let's go back in time.
What?
War by Edwin Starr is an anti-Vietnam War protest song. The Vietnam War was a Cold War-era conflict that lasted for 20 years, from November 1955 through April 1975. The overwhelming negative attitude on the home front during this time is now infamous. Songs like War have become well known for its vocal protest.
Edwin Starr, initially named Charles Edwin Hatcher, was born on January 21st, 1942 in Nashville, Tennessee. He was raised in Cleveland, Ohio with his two cousins and fellow soul singers, Roger and Willie Hatcher. In 1957, at age 15, Starr formed his very own doo-wop group, called the Future Tones, and thus began his singing career. After serving in the military for 2 years from 1960 to 1962, Starr moved to Detroit, Michigan, where he was signed onto small-time label Rick Records, giving him his first and only #1 hit song.
Rick Records, a former rival of the great Motown Records, was bought out in 1968. This gave Edwin Starr a greater advantage, such as better and bigger producers and songwriters to enable him to produce his hit song. The song War was originally written in 1969 by Norman Whitfield and Beret Strong, two top songwriters for Motown Records. The song was originally recorded by The Temptations, but the single was never released. Motown Records didn't want to offend the more conservative listeners. After pressure from both the company and fans, anti-war advocates and students flooded the studio with letters, and the song was re-recorded in June 1970.
The counterculture was hugely significant in the success of the song. Like the producers of the song, they were strongly against the Vietnam War. During the peak of the counterculture, many were revolutionary. Edwin Starr's lyrics quote, "The point of war blows my mind. War has caused unrest within the younger generation. Induction then destruction," end quote, resonated with young people. The idea of the New Left was sensationalized by the media and the popular mainstream of the time. The expression of this disagreement was shown in a variety of ways. Some radicals protested and stirred up violence, for example, the Kent State shootings in 1970. Others were more militant anti-war groups, such as the Vietnam Veterans Against the War and prominent individuals in the black community, like Muhammad Ali. These helped influence public opinion. Songs like War were anthems that mobilized thousands.
War was released on the album War and Peace on June 10, 1970. With this new innovative release, Edwin Starr acquired new influences that brought a new dramatic and intense sense to the song. The theme of unconcealed rage combined with the soulfulness of his voice depicted the agitation and growing distaste that most Americans felt towards the Vietnam War at the time. Unlike The Temptations' original recording, the song was far less mild. The new recorded version included prominent electric guitar lines, synchronized rhythm, and was accompanied by a brazen horn section. The psychedelic soul and funk song runs at 3 minutes and 28 seconds.
After the initial success of War, Starr continued to make music, attempting to follow up his hit song in his next album, Involved. He released Stop the War Now, which was a minor hit in its own right. Edwin left Motown in 1973 and headed to the United Kingdom, where he saw more minor success. In 1979, releasing 2 disco hits, Contact and HAPPY Radio, he became a staple of the dying disco scene. By this time, he was signed on 20th Century Records. Edwin never again saw the fame that war brought him. On April 2, 2003, Edwin died of a heart attack in his home while taking a bath. He left behind a wife, 2 kids, and his legacy as a well-known soul singer.
With this 3-week chart-topping success, War embedded itself as a staple in the war protest movement. The song has gone on to become a cultural landmark in the echoing generation. The song has been sampled by many hip-hop acts and appeared on the soundtrack of many movies. With the release of the song, other Motown acts such as Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder began to direct their creative energy towards soul and social criticism. War affected the music and attitude of its day with its fierce disapproval of the government's stance on Vietnam and the war in general.